Hello besties. Oh my god, I can't believe this is our very first video on this channel. I'm honestly so excited you're here, because today we're starting with something that looks innocent and cute, but carries one of the creepiest legends I've ever found. We're talking about Labubu. You've seen it. The big ears, the cartoonish eyes, and that giant grin. At first glance it looks silly, collectible, even funny. But the deeper you dig, the stranger it becomes. Some kids say Labubu comes to them in their dreams. Collectors whisper it moves when no one is looking. And the stories you're about to hear will make you think twice about ever having one near your bed. And before we dive in, let's make a deal. If you love your mom, smash that like button right now. And if you want more creepy dark lore stories every single week, subscribe and turn on all notifications. Besties, this is only the beginning.
People think Labubu was just created as a cute toy, but the truth is darker. The designer once admitted the idea came from a nightmare. For several nights in a row, he dreamed of a figure outside his window. It had massive ears, pointed teeth, and eyes that wouldn't blink. It just stood there, waiting. One night he woke up in panic, grabbed a sketchbook, and drew exactly what he saw. That sketch became the first version of Labubu. At first he thought it was just an odd design, but then parents started noticing something disturbing. Children across different cities were waking up screaming about the thing with the smile. They described big ears, a wide grin, and a body too small for its face. Soon the stories matched up. Kids in different countries, speaking different languages, having the same dream. Some said it whispered to them. Others said it asked to be let inside. So the question spread online. Did the artist create Labubu? Or did he just bring into reality something that was already lurking in our subconscious?
And here's where things get really creepy. Shared dreams aren't unheard of, but they're extremely rare. Usually when multiple people claim to dream of the same thing, it's something common, like falling, drowning, or being chased. But this wasn't a normal dream. This was a very specific figure, down to the shape of its teeth and the way it stood by the window. Think about what that means. A designer claims he saw this creature in his own nightmares. He draws it, and suddenly children all over the world begin describing the same thing. Now, skeptics will say it's just suggestion, that once the toy existed, kids saw pictures of it, and their brains recycled the image into dreams. And sure, that could explain part of it. But what about the ones who dreamed of Labubu before ever owning or seeing it? That's what unsettles me. When different minds, separated by oceans, report the same terrifying visitor, we can't just brush it off as coincidence. Maybe Labubu really did exist in some hidden corner of our minds. Maybe it was there all along, waiting for someone to give it a face we could recognize. And once that happened, it spread like wildfire. Whether you believe in paranormal forces or not, there's one undeniable truth. The idea of Labubu didn't just start with a toy. It spread through dreams, through whispers, through stories passed from one person to another. And that is how myths are born.
Collectors know these stories best. One man in Hong Kong proudly displayed his rare Labubu figure on a shelf. That night he heard giggling in his apartment. At first he thought it was neighbors in the hallway, but the sound was inside his own room. Another collector swore his Labubu fell off the shelf at exactly 3 a.m., landing face up, staring directly at his bed. No one else was in the house. Online forums filled with warnings. If your Labubu ever moves on its own, get rid of it immediately. But here's the strange part. Instead of scaring buyers away, it only made Labubu more popular. Rare editions now sell for hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. Fans line up overnight just to get one. And yet almost everyone who owns one repeats the same comment. The eyes look alive. Some even claim they glow faintly in the dark, without any kind of paint or battery. Cute on the surface, deadly in whispers.
This is the paradox that fascinates me most. Why do people crave something they're also afraid of? It's because fear and fascination feed each other. When something looks harmless but feels dangerous, our brains lock onto it. That's exactly the role Labubu plays. From a psychological perspective, Labubu sits in what's called the uncanny valley. It's almost cute, but not quite. The grin is too wide, the eyes too sharp, the proportions just a little wrong. That mismatch triggers discomfort, but also curiosity. It's the same reason we can't look away from creepy dolls or unsettling clowns. And when fear mixes with desire, obsession begins. That's why collectors line up for these toys even while trading ghost stories about them. It's not just a figure anymore, it's become a modern myth. The creepy stories don't hurt its popularity, they amplify it. Fear becomes part of the marketing. And in the end, Labubu transforms from plastic into legend. That's the real curse here. Not that Labubu will crawl off your shelf, but that it will never leave your head once you've seen it.
The scariest Labubu story comes from Japan. A teenage girl left her Labubu on her desk before bed. At 3 a.m., she woke up to find it sitting on her pillow, right beside her face. She thought she was still dreaming, until she touched it. It was solid. She screamed. Her parents rushed in and saw the window wide open, even though they had locked it. The next day, she refused to sleep in her room again. After the story spread online, other people claimed the same thing. They said Labubu doesn't just sit still. It moves when no one is watching. Sometimes closer, sometimes right onto the bed. A few even claimed its grin widened, just for a second, before returning to normal. And the chilling detail that repeats across reports, it always happens around 3 in the morning. The time people call the devil's hour.
Legends like this always come with rules. Here are the ones fans whisper about Labubu. If Labubu shows up in your dream, never turn your back. That's when it gets closer. If you touch the figure and it feels colder than the room, it means something else is in the room with you. If it ever falls by itself, it's not an accident. It's a warning. And if you ever see two Labubus in different places, never speak its name aloud. At first, these sound silly, but once you've heard them, they stick. Later tonight, when you're lying in bed, your brain will replay them against your will. That's the power of folklore. Once planted, it grows on its own. So what is Labubu really? Is it just a toy created to be cute and weird? A marketing trick that turned into internet legend? Or is it something older, a nightmare wearing a smile, waiting for someone to give it a body? The truth is no one can say for sure. And maybe that's why the legend is so effective. Labubu walks a perfect line between harmless and horrifying. That duality is what makes it unforgettable. When something looks safe but feels dangerous, your brain can't let it go. It replays, it spreads, it haunts. That's why stories of Labubu move from dreams to shelves to whispers online. It may not kill you, but it will take up permanent space in your imagination. So besties, here's my question for you. Is Labubu actually cute? Or is it pure nightmare fuel hiding behind a plastic smile? Okay besties, that was the dark lore of Labubu. Tell me in the comments what you think. Is it harmless fun, or is it something that should never have been brought into our world? And don't forget our deal. If you love your mom, subscribe to the channel right now. If you want to sleep peacefully tonight, hit that like button. This is just the beginning, besties. The next stories are even darker.